Hey there, Eagle Force fans. Today we're taking a look at another trio of pre-release Eagle Force figures that are scheduled to be released in mid to late May. And as a quick disclaimer, Fresh Monkey Fiction did send me these figures for an early review so that you can see what the actual figures look like and spread the word everywhere. And as a quick reminder, before we do a deep dive on these figures, you can pre-order any of these figures or the figures that I've covered in previous videos at bigbadtoystore.com. That is the only place you can get these. And if you decide you like any of these things and the time comes that they release, there's no guarantee that any of these figures will actually be available because they are in such a short production run. So if there's any of these figures that you like, you might want to get in and do that pre-order just to secure your figure. Alright, enough of the salesy talk. Let's deep dive into these figures. You will notice a large change, a very big change with these three figures compared to previous videos and even your previous experience buying Eagle Force figures. That is none other than the case, and that was kind of loud, but they are now in these small little boxes. Here's a reference point to kind of get an idea of how small these boxes really are. Here is a red card that we're all used to seeing, and yeah, those are actually pretty small. I'll flip this around. You know, the red card, especially these newer ones with the comics. Well, don't worry, got a surprise here for you if you haven't seen these boxes. But yeah, those are they're pretty small. So we're taking a look today at Yvonne 2 or Yvonne the Second or version 2. I'm not quite sure exactly where this guy fits in, but he's Yvonne 2, and he is part of Riot. And this is Harley, and this is General Brown. This is why last week I was having so much difficulty when I would say Sergeant Brown, I would say General Brown, because there's this dude here. It's him as being an older guy when he upped the rank and was promoted. Now he's General. He's kind of like on the level of Captain Eagle, although Captain and General, we can figure that one out later. Anyway, these are a box set, and there will be more figures in this, and these are the Eagle Force Returns figures. So let me bring this back here real quick. This has now been changed. Instead of the Eagle Force, and these are the classic versions, these are the Eagle Force Returns. So they are the more modern versions of the classic guys. This is where, as far as I can tell, Fresh Monkey Fiction is kind of stepping out and creating their own versions of the classic characters. So you're going to get new versions, and it's really cool what we're going to see. Now let's take a look here at this box, because there's a few things you're going to want to know. The first off, I know this is what everyone loves to see, and I'm not dissing this or anything necessarily. I'm not trying to be negative, but on this side, you get a figure number. Yes, that's the first thing I pointed out. It's not really a figure number, it's just like, well, I mean, it is a figure number. But General Brown is 02. And take that for what you will. You know, don't feel like you have to be a completist just because there's a number. I know some of you might feel that way, but please don't. I don't. I just get the things that I like. I just happen to like a lot of them. So we got some really cool artwork on the front, and I'll point out that here on the bottom of the box, how close can I get so you can actually see what's going on? It actually has art credits, and that's really cool. Packaging design, logo design. There's a lot of nice credits down here for some of the stuff that we see. So on this side, you just get General Brown, Fresh Monkey Fiction. So if you get boxes and you like to display them, you'll probably want this side sticking out because it's got the number. This has got the Fresh Monkey Fiction logo down here. On the back, we have a little bit about Eagle Force Returns. There's a few paragraphs there, but then there's a series of cross sales of other characters. And you got Captain Eagle, General Brown, Harley, Shortstop, Yvonne 2, and Black Rope. Now I noticed that Yvonne 2 is the only one in red, and I'm guessing that means this is the Riot character and everyone else is an Eagle Force character. That's just a really logical assumption on my part. If you know otherwise, let me know in the comments below. But it even says right here, complete your collection at bigbadtoystore.com. So there's another quick little ad for them. Anyway, I heard, and don't quote me, I heard that Shortstop and Black Rope have not been funded, so they won't be coming out right away. So in the huge drop of figures in May, these two won't be included. It will just be these four characters, Captain Eagle, General Brown, Harley, and Yvonne 2. So that's something that I've heard. Now let's open this up, and what's on the inside? Well, here you go. We have a comic book. Not a comic book, but it's a comic on the inside. So that new comic that was on the back of the red card, well, look at that. We're going to get a comic on the inside. So we still get that visual file card. I like these so much. Just a little disappointed that this Velcro piece kind of covers part of it, but luckily there's no talking bubbles there. So that's kind of cool. It looks like there's some space stuff. We got some space things going on. You got this guy and that guy and that guy and that guy and that guy. But, so yeah, Sergeant Brown, I'm not going to read it. I was about to read it, but that's right. I'm not reading it. So it's a little difficult to see into that box, but General Brown is hiding in there. So there's nothing left to do except for open this guy up. What about Harley? Let's look at this figure. And the same thing on the back, Harley, or Yvonne 2 has red. So that's got to be that... that's the Riot guy. Harley is figure 03, and that's a pretty cool looking character art there. I like this art. I love art, so that's why I really notice stuff like that. So here is Harley's comic. Let me move my finger there so you could actually read it if you decide to pause and read it. There we go. I think I'm holding it still for you. So we got some really cool looking stuff going on there. I'd actually like to maybe even someday see all these reprinted maybe in an actual comic book format. You know, like a one-shot that's got all these comics. I think that would be pretty sweet. Especially for the people who don't actually buy all the figures, or maybe the ones that sell out and you can't, then they would have access to being able to read all the stuff, besides, you know, watching my videos and pausing. But there's Harley hidden away in his spot. Now, here is Yvonne 2. He is figure number 6, which, let's see, let's count back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the numbers don't seem to exactly match up with what we have back there. General Brown was 2, Harley was 3. They're right. Maybe Yvonne 2 was actually supposed to be at the end, but a mix-up happened or something. But he is number 6. We'll open this box up. Let's see, I'll position this just right so you can actually, there we go, read that comic if you want to real quick. It's kind of got some cool stuff. Hey, Ultima Thule, I think it's Thule is in there. We got some Riot Troopers down there. Anyway, and there is Yvonne 2 hidden deep dark. So I say we get these figures out of the boxes this time. What do you think? Oops, you caught me in mid-unboxing, but that's okay, because I want to show you a couple things. Inside the box, if you like inside artwork or related stuff, you could use these even for display if you display these figures like on a shelf. But inside Yvonne 2 has this Riot backing cardboard, and inside General Brown and Harley you get this, and it looks like Eagle Force HQ or something. It's really awesome. This Eagle Mountain, you got these airplanes, you've got these tanks down here. I'm looking around at stuff, and it's really cool. It looks like it's an ocean base, like an island, a cliff. It actually looks really cool. Oh, there's even a submarine down here, so that's cool. Fresh Monkey Fiction, just a huge shout out real quick. I want this. I think you need to make this playset. You're teasing it, so I want it. Just, you know, that's my 2 cents. I think that'd be an awesome playset. It doesn't necessarily have to be this scale. It could be like, I don't know, Castle Grayskull size or something. Just, that would be really fun. Okay, now the other interesting new piece of packaging is this tray right here. So this is different than before, because before the figure was just in a little plastic tray and it was inside the bubble. Well, this is sealed in a double layer here. So when I pulled this piece off, that's kind of cool. There's a protective covering on this. You get the figure that's in the middle. The figure stand is in this lower right hand corner, and then you get the bag of goodies, the baggie of goodies right there in its own little slot. That's kind of neat. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this packaging and stuff real quick. Let's get back to the regular review. So we're going to begin with the odd man out, and that's with Riot's Yvonne the Second, and that's what I'm going to call him, is Yvonne the Second. Anyway, so this video is going to be a little bit different than the previous ones. I'm going to look at them individually. I think it might be a little less confusing if I do that. So, accessory-wise, he comes with the ever-expected Eagle Force figure stand with the words Eagle Force and 2 pegs. He's got this really cool silverish gray, it's really silver, gun right there. It's pretty nice. And then he has the vest that has the customizable pieces. So on the vest right now, he's got, it looks like a pack of shotgun shells. Let's see if we bring him closer and you can see this stuff. So right there, we've got the shotgun shells, and we've got the holster with a handgun that I just dropped. We'll slide that back in. It is so small. So small. And then you've got a couple little pouches there, a couple a little bit larger pouches. Then what else he's got? He's got a few other things. Stand, man. He's got this little cell phone right there that pegs on. And he's got, honestly, this thing, and I don't know exactly what this is, just another little thing that pegs on. And he's got, it looks like a little triple pouch. These things are crazy small. And he's got this, and truthfully, I haven't a clue what this is either. It's just like a solid gray piece, and like maybe it's armor, maybe it's something that you all know. You can tell me, but I got no idea, honestly, what this is. And we've got a couple heads here, so we got this head right there. And I'm actually going to try and put these heads on the figure in this video and see if they'll work. We got sunglasses. This is actually really cool. I like this head a lot. I like the 5 o'clock shadow in the glasses. It makes him, it makes not Yvonne, but I mean, it makes this guy look pretty cool. Now, if you're new to these videos and you haven't seen an Eagle Force video of mine before, I'm going to share with you the fun thing, and that is they come with lots of hands. Yes, you heard me. Lots of hands, and they come with two varieties. There's the skin-colored hands, and this is a flat hand, and a gloved hand with fingers sticking out the end. So you get two different varieties of gloves, and they are the open, grabby hands. They are fisted hands. They are C-shaped hands to hold things other than guns, and they are trigger finger gun hands. I can't grab this one, and I'm jumping back and forth, but all these different hand positions come in skin color and half gloved, except for this. The open hand right here is only skin color right there. So let's look at this thing again here. Now we're a little bit closer. I think this is pretty cool. So there's this gun. Yeah, that's pretty neat. All right, so let's get Yvonne in here a little bit closer real quick. Like I said, I'm going to try and see if I can't do some head swapping right here, because I actually tried it a little bit. So this is what it would look like. This one's kind of tight. There we go. This is what he'd look like if he was shaved and bald. Look up there, man. There you go. And then, oh, tight. 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 You gotta be careful. If it's too tight and you go to pull the head out, it will pull this little barbell out as well, and then you've got some trouble on your hands. Then we'll try this head right there. See? Wasn't I right? This guy looks cool. Yeah, this one looks really neat. I think that's pretty neat. All right, let's get this off, and let's go back to the standard Yvonne head. He looks like he would have a deep voice, and I don't know what accent that was. Just forgive me on that one. Slide his little handgun back in, and on his right side over here, he's got another handgun in a holster. Silver and black. We'll tuck that one right back in. So there's really not a whole lot of difference. I mean, he's got the standard articulation as an Eagle Force figure should have. There's no hindrance. He can do the splits, he can do the sits, and he can do the twists. The leg swivel, by the way. Double pin knee that can take his leg up that far. And an arm that goes all the way around and lifts back and forth. A hinge at the elbow, and he can go... Look at those muscles. He's got some guns on him. I mean, he can go more than 90 degrees. That's pretty nice. So hinge and swivel there. Hinge and swivel at the wrist. And his head can go all the way around because, you know, he can. And then the feet, if you want him to lean back... Let's try not to... I noticed in the previous videos, the knee's bent on some. I think he can go back about that far, and you can't really see that. And he can go forward in his boots about that far. That's about his range right there. And he lost the gun again. He can't hold on to this thing. There we go. And then, of course, he swivels at the waist because that is the joint. The waist and torso are connected. There's nothing else up there. There's no boot cut on this figure, but he does look cool. Now, something I've forgotten to do in the past, and I was going to do it starting in this video because I remember, is over here on the left side, I'm going to throw up what the digital render for this figure looks like, so you can see what the original idea was over here and what the actual figure looks like, because there's been a few of these that look a little bit different. And when I looked, and people have reminded me, hey, you know, this looks a little different, and I go look it up, I'm like, oh wow, that really is different. Some look really similar. So there's a side-by-side comparison for Yvonne 2. All right, let's move to the next guy. And here we have the modern interpretation of Harley, who comes with a standard Eagle Force figure stand with 2 pegs. And this guy actually has a whole lot less in the way of accessories. There are no extra heads, and he comes with this. I can't get it on. There we go. This little tiny small silver and black handled handgun. And I do believe that there is another accessory, another gun he's supposed to come with that he didn't come with, and that will slide right into this holster on his left leg, because this one is a little bit too small for that. And as before, he comes with a bunch of hands, except he only comes with skin-colored hands, and he's got all the standards. He's got the open hand, I'm going to reach up and grab you zombie style hand. He's got a set of flat hands, and he's got a set of fists. He's got a set of C-shaped hands to hold anything but a gun, and on him are the trigger fingers. So that's Harley right there. Accessories, that was pretty quick. We're going to scoot these off to the side a little bit. Let's take a closer look, though, at the figure now. And if you ask me, he looks just like a biker Santa Claus. This guy, I think he's really pretty cool. He just has the born to be wild type of look. I love that he looks like he's decked out in leathers, and he's got his gray t-shirt on, the bandana with the sunglasses, and not a pure white beard, but it's a grayer beard. Turn him around, and he's got an Eagle Force logo on his back, so he's part of the Eagle Force biker gang in my world. But yeah, that's pretty neat. So he is... Actually, I thought he was going to be a little hindered. I was going to say he's hindered, but he can rotate his head all the way around, even though he's got that big beard. If you want him to look down, well, that's not going to be nearly as easy. If you want him to look up, he can look up a little bit better than he can look down. And of course, as I stated before, a single rotation there at the waist. And if you want him to sit, he can sit. If you want him to do the splits, he can splits. He can twist. He can double pin at the knee. And, you know, all the stuff you haven't, it's stuff you've most likely seen before. Rotation and hinge at the shoulder. I think, you know, these are actually the same arms that was on Yvonne the second, Yvonne 2. And so that's a little bit better than 90 degrees, a hinge rotation at the elbow, hinge and rotation at the wrist. And he's got the ball joint that's up in the leg, and so you can actually rotate, twist, and pivot. No, sorry. You can rotate, pivot, and hinge the boots. And actually, look at that. He looks like he can go forward. Really, you know, for being leather and I would say biker boots, that's pretty good articulation. I want the name of where he gets his stuff. Leaning back, it's just a little bit different of a story, not quite as far. But you know what? He's in leather, right? And over here, check out on his right arm. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer there. He's got this little tattoo. I can't tell. It's either like a dragon or a seahorse. I'm pretty sure it's not a seahorse. Might not even be a dragon. But it's just a little cool tattoo on the inside. From what I can tell, the inside of his arm. I don't think it's on the outside. It's just the way the arm looks. It looks like it's like on the under inside right there. And that's the only little sneak surprise that's on this. You could take, I like this, you could take off his vest, because it's not a jacket. It might have been a jacket for other figures, but in this case, it's a vest. And I love this, because you could take this off, and he's got a gray shirt, and his gray shirt sleeves carry over onto his arms. And I like that a lot. This is, I think of the 3 figures in this wave, or in this group, this will be my favorite. Maybe it's because he's a rebellious type. I don't know. but I really like the look of Harley. Hey there, sorry for the interruption, but I forgot to do the comparison with the digital render that I'm showing over here on the left side and the actual figure that's here on the right side. So if there are any differences, you'll be able to see, and you'll know what the differences will be on the actual figure released. As I mentioned earlier with Yvonne to the second, in the past I've seen that there are some pretty big differences with some figures, and others there are really no differences. So I want to throw up the comparison so you can see for yourself if there are any differences worth your time, or if that affects what you were planning on buying. Anyway, let's get back to the review. All right, time for General Brown. And now we get to General Brown, where I can actually say General Brown repeatedly, and while it might annoy you, it's going to make me happy because I'm not screwing it up with Sergeant Brown. Anyway, here he comes with the figure stand, standard to all the Eagle Force figures. It says Eagle Force, they got the 2 pegs. Then you've got this gun. I stabbed the dude and he's knocked him over. Oh my goodness. I got the General down. Stay there. Anyway, we got this gun right here. And we'll bring this, you can see it. It's right there. That's pretty nice. It's a nice looking weapon. I like something that looks like this for a lot of standard. There's certain guns I like the looks of and some I don't. Now, he's got something a little bit different going on with his hands down here. They're all skin colored. There's no gloves, so he's only got one set. And he's got the standard flat flat palmed. He's got the fists. And he's got the C shape, so he can grab anything except for a gun because no trigger finger, but the trigger finger is right here on the attached hand. Now, he does not have the open grabby hands. Instead, he's got a single left-handed pointer. No, not that pointer. This is the index finger pointing out because he's telling somebody to do something, and he means it now. That's kind of neat. So there are no open grabby hands for this figure right here. And that is all of these accessories. And now we get to look just at Mr. General. I have the option to say General Brown, and then I go Mr. Brown. I am so confused. Let's just say Mr. General Brown. And he's in very nice looking, pretty standard green military. Does his hat pop off? I'm curious. Yes, it does. And yep, you can tell. Definitely tell. It's been a while. He's got gray hair now. So he's seen a thing or two. And so you got this nice little hat. We'll just go ahead and pop that right back on. He looks good in the hat, doesn't he? And so this vest, or this jacket, I said vest because I was thinking of Harley over there, but this jacket does not come off. And so you see this light green shirt, kind of an olive green. You've got a tie, but it doesn't come off, so his arms are also the same color as that. It's a very nice looking figure. You could easily swap the head and the hands for any colors or any gloves or anything out there, and you might want to get a couple of these guys. This is a very nice suited green if you want to have several of the figures, maybe in some sort of a military kind of dress outfit. Now, I understand that he's got medals and he's got these on his shoulders that indicate, I'm pretty confident that indicates, 4-star general rank? I don't know a lot, but I think that's what that indicates. So, you might have a lot of generals walking around, but, is that really that bad? He has hindrance. He can't do the splits, except for about that far. If you want him to sit, nobody sits when they're in dress. No, when you're in, not a dress, but like dressy clothes. Double pin at the knee. He can only go back that far. He does have the rotation at the thigh, and this figure also has the little ball joint that's up in the leg, so he has a rotation, a pivot, which don't really work that well, and a hinge. Okay, none of those work very well. In fact, let's take a peek here at that right there. So holding him down and trying to lean him forward, it's very subtle. He only goes about that far, and that might actually be a little bit more than what he goes. I can't tell. If we lean him back with his knees bent, not on purpose, but yeah, that's about as far as he goes back. You're not going to get a lot of range of motion out of the hinge or the pivot, just maybe a little bit. I mean, yeah, a little bit. A little bit of a rotation. a little bit of a pivot, but not a whole lot. Arm rotates around and hinges up. Elbow hinges and rotates, and he has probably about a 90-degree angle there. And wrists rotate and hinge just as well. And he can rotate. We're going to knock the dude's hat off. Part of this is rotating at the thigh, so holding the thigh and trying to rotate him, it's kind of fun because it also rotates the thighs at the same time. So he doesn't have, he's got some hindrances, but, he can still lead. You can't tell this man what he can and can't do. He's going to tell you what he can and probably will do. So, yeah, that's just that. Here's the backside of him. In case I didn't show it to you, there's a little bit of a split here, but that's not really going to help a whole lot for anything. And he's got a hole in the back, actually. I didn't even notice. Harley does not have a hole in the back of his vest, but Yvonne the Second does. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head, are there even backpacks with any Eagle Force figures? I don't remember getting any backpacks with any of the figures I have. Wow, now I'm going to have to go back and look at all my stuff because I can't remember if they come with backpacks. Now, they all do have these double holes on the feet, and I noticed that some of my Eagle Force figures do have magnets, which I thought were amazing. I thought those were really cool to have magnets there in the toes because you could do so much. You could actually maybe have a little metal strip that you could hook them on, and then they wouldn't go anywhere. The back peg on the heel is actually, I think, what's supposed to go on the figure stand, but now we got to look at this because those are really tiny holes. Well, that works, but interesting. Let's look at this. Let's take a look here at something because I just realized something. So let's get this at the right angle. This peg is smaller than this peg. Are they all like that? Yeah, I think they are. That's interesting. I hadn't noticed that before. So let's try and so the left side or right side, however you facing forward, the right side, stage right, goes in the larger hole, and stage left goes in the heel, the smaller hole. I wonder if that was done on purpose. I haven't seen that done before. That's really interesting. That's really... I don't know if that's, how it's supposed to be. Maybe. Okay, so as I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention, these are pre-release samples. So these are pretty much like the final product with maybe a few tiny little tweaks here and there. That'll be interesting to see if that's actually a thing. Because other figures, I'm going to have to look back at the golden style figures because I don't remember that was what they did. Whoa, hey there, sorry about another interruption, but yes, I actually did forget again to show the comparison between the digital render, which is over here on the left side, and the actual figure that's over here on the right side. So if there are any differences, anything that you would like to know about or that you care about, here's your opportunity to see the differences between the two. Anyway, let's get back to the review. Anyway, let's get all three of these figures geared up right now. So based off of all the accessories that these figures come with, this is about as geared up as I could get them. Harley with his little gun, which like I said, pretty sure he's going to have either an additional gun or a different gun. I think it's an additional gun that will go in the holster. So, because this little gun is kind of puny for Harley. This guy is rough and tough and he deserves a bigger gun, but he's also got to learn to stand first. So they've been a little difficult to stand just because I'm trying to do fancy poses to make things look a little more dynamic instead of just straight up and down, shelf posing. Oh, forget it. Just stand there, dude. Just stand. The main problem is I kind of don't have any good luck with ankles, and so when I rotate ankles, and this is why I don't like when there's ball joints that go up inside the pants, usually they get rotated off slightly, and then I just have all sorts of trouble getting figures to stand after that. So it's all my fault. Don't take it out on these figures. Here we got Yvonne the Second. Pretty nice. Definitely probably my second favorite of these three. And unfortunately, as much as I really like General Brown, yeah, see now I've messed this guy up already. There we go. Unfortunately, I do like General Brown a lot, but he's going to have to come in third just because it's a suit. And I don't know. No, Harley's first and these guys are tied. I can't let General Brown be third. So he's going to have to be third. And I had to include the pointing finger. Check that out. He is like leading. He's like, go this way, men. I will go and I will follow. No, this guy, he doesn't follow. He's a leader. I bet he's right out there in front of everyone. So everyone's behind him. And he's like, follow me, men. Go this way. I don't know. I'm just, this is a lot of fun. This is fun. This is cool. So anyway, like I said, I start messing around trying to do fun dynamic stuff, and then they like to fall over. So anyway, here are some pre-release action figures. These are Eagle Force Return. We have Harley on the left, General Brown in the middle, Yvonne the Second on the far right. These are a lot of fun. They are scheduled to be released mid to late May, so get your pre-orders in at bigbadtoystore.com. If you want to get these figures, remember that Yvonne the Second actually comes with a couple different heads. So like if you like any of these heads, although we've seen this head a few times, if you like, I don't know if we've seen this head, we might have, but I don't recognize it right away. If you like these heads, you like this body, mix them up, then you might want to pre-order a couple of those. But I'm not trying to push or anything. But I would recommend if any of these grab your fancy, pre-order them now so you actually get them, because no guarantees that these figures will be available when the dust settles after they've been shipped out to all the pre-orders and people buy them last second on Big Bad Toy Store. I would recommend the pre-order. It doesn't cost anything out of your pocket right this minute. It'll just charge you later. So if you know how Big Bad Toy Store works. Anyway, so no more salesy stuff. Today, these are some pretty fun figures. Thank you for joining me for another pre-release Eagle Force video. I will see you next time.